Hello my lovely language learners, I hope you are having an amazing day. Today I am going to show you guys some apps. Now the video looks like I am actually reviewing language apps, which is actually the case, The actual goal behind making this video is to show you guys very useful apps that I use all the time for my languages, and also some less useful apps that I suggest to avoid it, so you can save that time studying more properly. I have learned a lot of languages, I am learning a lot of languages right now, and I will be learning more languages. I went through many apps and tools, and with the test of time I managed to find really good ones and really bad ones. And I basically want to show you guys the ones you will find very useful. After watching this video, you will no longer waste your time with bad ones. And that is the main goal of the video, to simply show you the best apps and you guys can save your time. Also, you guys will learn a lot more than just ranking of these apps. Some inside details that you guys will find very useful about these apps. So, alright, let's just jump into the video. Alright, let's start with Memrise. This was the first ever app I installed when I started learning languages from apps. Like everything else, it has its pros and cons. And regardless of what resource you have, you need to know where and how to use it. Otherwise, you won't like it pretty much. You won't actually like pretty much anything. So Memrise is basically a spaced repetition program in its core, created by professional language teachers. But there are some other features too, such as chatting with AI and things like that. Biggest thing I like about this app is that it integrates videos of native speakers saying those sentences or words. It really gives you the right feel for that language. Biggest con for this app is that it requires you to type the language in certain cards. In the beginning stages of the language, this can be very frustrating for new learners. So there is that. I myself don't like this feature. Overall speaking, as a main language resource, I don't recommend this. But as a side resource, go ahead and use it. I think it's great for short side lessons you want to do during the day, but I will not recommend it as a main learning resource. I'm going to place it in the middle. It works, but it should not be used as a main language learning resource. It should be used as a side activity. And it works, it's not a bad app. Also, Memrise used to have community generated lessons and people really loved that. Unfortunately, sadly, they removed it all. Anki. Oh boy, how did I not know about this app for such a long time? It's also a spaced repetition program. You can make really complex cards and decks on this app if you want to. There is also a big community of great decks available online for free. Actually, this entire app is for free. I just put whatever I study in Anki to revise it properly later. Some people say it's boring or simple, etc. and don't like it. I consider its simple interface as a blessing, no distractions or time wasters. Straight to the point, studying efficiently. You can make custom decks exactly to your specification and needs, exactly in accordance to your level. So, you are getting exactly what you want from this app. Where will I put this? Superb. I use it for everything. I use it for all of my languages. It just makes learning languages so easy. I use it for revisions when I'm on bus, in bed, waiting for something, etc. This app is not something to be used as a main study resource. It's a supplement to be used with regular studies. Podcast player. That's literally its name, podcast player. This is the app. I started using this app a year ago. It is basically a podcast player like the name suggests. There are like so many podcasts, some available on one app, others aren't. This app has all the podcasts so far in my experience. It finds all podcasts for my language learning purposes, and that's all I want. I will be using this for all of my podcasts until I find something better. There are some minor problems with this app, but overall I don't mind it. When Google Podcasts announced it was going away, I found this app, and so far I will be using it I'm using it right now and future until I can find something better. It's a free app and I will rate this. I will rate this a great. It's a great app. It has its problems, but due to its problems, I'm gonna place it at this tier. But it's a very great app. I will keep using it until I can find something better. So yeah, here it is. Pimsleur app. I will be using it for all of my languages. It's an audio-based self-learning app that teaches you speaking. So basically for speaking practice, self-speaking practice. If you use it for other purposes such as learning the language overall, I would not recommend that. You will be disappointed. This is specifically for speaking practice. And like many resources, if you use it at the right place, at the right time, it works really well. I have made a detailed video about pimsleur, and if you want to spend time learning from this app, which will be like 3 to 5 months depending on the language, then I suggest you go and watch that video. It's the amount of languages it supports is just amazing. Whatever language you are learning, most likely it has the courses for it. Alright, so where will I place it? I will place it at super. I will place it more like, this is perfect. I will be using it for all of my languages, but make sure you guys know when to use this one. Rosetta Stone. Alright. I've been hearing really bad things about this app, and because of that I avoided using it. But when I used it, I just couldn't understand why it had so many bad reviews. But I finally got my answer, and I'm about to explain everything
La
there.
femme mange.
So the way Rosetta Stone works is they use immersion techniques to teach you language, both in terms of vocabulary and grammar. The way they achieve this is by making you match the different things in the new language to pictures. This is basically the main way it works. There is no translation, just words and later sentences and audio etc. getting matched to pictures in a variety of ways. The main idea behind is to force a person's mind to learn the language directly from what's happening in front of them, just like we learn our first native language. So why does it have so many bad reviews? From many YouTubers especially. Does this method not work? It works. It works. It's a very good method actually. Many language teaching institutions, universities, government language, foreign service institutions, and many others actually use Rosetta Stone. So why the hate for Rosetta Stone? Let me explain properly. Like all apps, Rosetta also has its limitations. The mistakes people make is that lots of people get this app when they are 100% new to language. Now Rosetta is mainly an immersion-based program. And if you rely on immersion-based things in the very beginning, then your progress will be very slow and things will be frustrating. The first steps in language are difficult, and you need a very guided program like a proper video course or self-teaching language book like Teach Yourself series to get a jump start in the beginning part of the language. Usually they take 1 to 3 months to complete. It depends on language and what resource you are using. After that course, you will be around A2 level in that language. It is then you start immersion activities and reading and things like that. And then these immersion methods work better and are less frustrating. So that is the main reason that it is getting so much hate.
Le garçon boit.
Let's get to the final review. Does Rosetta Stone work? Yes, it works. But you cannot use it as a main resource. As a side resource, it works just fine. And it should be used when you are in upper A2 level of the language. Otherwise, things will be slow and frustrating for you if you are 100% beginner in the language. I will place it near memrise. Yeah, that's perfect. Should I put it? Yeah, no, memrise is better. Yeah, though memrise is better, that restaurant takes the second place. Language transfer. This will be a difficult app to rank properly. So there are many languages on this app. I mean, some of its courses are fully made while others are introductory courses. For example, French is not complete, and other courses like Spanish ones, they are complete. It is stipulated that this is 100% free app. It relies on donations. Now, for complete courses like Spanish, it's an S-tier app. Go ahead, use it. For incomplete courses, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's something like this. Instead of, for incomplete courses, you can spend the time on free podcasts that are available. And you don't like spend, look, time is also a currency. As adults, we don't have a lot of free time, so it's better to use time on things that are better. So you can use your time on free podcasts, it just works better. So where should I put it? There's a difficulty. In some languages it's superb, it's others I won't recommend it. So I'm going to just put it here. But please keep in mind, it depends on language. Make sure it's a complete course. So use that. If it's not a complete course, I suggest avoiding it. And use podcast instead. They are also free. Duolingo. Some say it's the most famous app in the world. Well, before I say anything, just know that I have used the full paid version of this app. And if you are a developer at Duolingo watching this video, please use this as feedback to improve your app. Okay, let's go to details of Duolingo now. I will start with the good stuff first. From outside, this app looks really cool with great animations and cartoons and things like that. But this is where it all ends. From the perspective of language learning, this is the worst app I have used. All the apps have problems and limitations, but Duolingo has two major problems that are in core of its learning. Number one, it teaches irrelevant sentences. Check any good learning program, it starts with relevant, useful sentences that people actually use in real life. Where Duolingo has sentences like, so here are some Duolingo sentences actually taken from this app. The Tuesday is similar to the Monday. The children want to pray for their pets. I am really interested in this weird clown. The blue sea is seriously white. Yeah, you can see these are like, who says this stuff? Honestly, this is not okay. We should be learning relevant sentences that you actually use in everyday life. Now, some people say it's to teach grammar. Well, let me tell you something. This has to be the worst way to teach grammar. There are so many better ways to learn grammar than this. And honestly speaking, I did not see grammar aspect any good too on this end. Teaching such useless phrases is a big waste of time, and time is a currency itself. We adults have limited time to study. And speaking of time, I come to number 2 part. This app wasted most amount of my time compared to other apps. It's very distracting, the teaching is very slow. After months of usage, my progress was very disappointing. Alright, final verdict. This app has cool animations and stuff, but in terms of language learning aspect, this app has least value compared to all apps I have used. I would not recommend this app to use for language learning. I will place it at the lowest part, avoid it. There are better things out there, use those. Maybe in future it will change. Right now I will stay away from it. lingq. Now this is a very good app. Mainly speaking, it's an app that has tons of reading material for new language learners. They are graded, which means you can find easy to read material when you are beginner and later get into more difficult stuff. All the material here is pre-translated and it has audio too. There are lots of features on this app, but the one that stands out for me is that it shows how much vocabulary you are learning. Basically, what happens is that when you reach A2 level, which normally takes from 1 to 3 months, going above A2 level becomes very slow. It takes some time to reach from A2 to B2 level, and new language learners get frustrated here as they are not seeing much progress and think their language kinda sucks. lingq actually shows you your progress. You can see your vocabulary list growing as you keep reading there, and that gives you visible progress. That is an excellent feature they added. Overall speaking, this is a very good app. Like all apps, it has limitations. In the beginning, when you are 100% new, study the basic grammar course, and you can use this app as side activity if you have time. It will increase your vocabulary. But later on, when you finish your basic course, you need to get into reading, and you can use this app as a main study resource. Where will I put it? I will put it at super. I will actually put it here behind here. So you can also use, you know what, you don't need to use Anki. lingq has a lot of tools, but if you want, yeah, sure, you can use Anki too with it. lingq is a very good app. Use it after you guys have completed the basic grammar course, whatever it is. And then just keep reading in lingq. Lots of material for lots of languages. We all know this app. We have used it. It has to be the most used language learning related app in the world. The one and only Google Translate. Now, lots of people only know Google Translate like this. You simply copy paste a sentence here and it translates it for you. But it can do tons of other things too. For example, whatever browser you are using, you can, for example, let me take this out. Let me go to World War II. Where is it? So, for example, whatever browser you are using, just add Google Translate extension and simply find out whatever word or sentence means super quick. No need to look into dictionaries and wasting time. I use it for my reading purposes. A lot. For example, I am reading this article over here. So what I will do, I have the Google Translate extension installed, and for example, I don't know what this sentence means, for example, so I just click it like this, and voila, you have the translation. And you can
Avec 61 nations impliquées.
You can also have the audio button in case needed. And yeah, this is like, it saves so much time. So there you go. So this saves a lot of time when I am doing my reading. If I come across a word, I just click on it and you can see the icons up there. I click it, I get the translate. Other features include translating photos. Let me show you. So I'm gonna go to images, and over here I'm gonna select the language French, and I'll paste the photo. You can basically take a photo from your camera app and use it. And so it's actually showing it in English, but let me show original. Watch. So this is the actual photo, and as you can see, it translated it. So yeah, it has lots of other features too. So make sure you have it on your phone too, and like you can use it for like so many other things. It's just a very good app. So this app has lots of uses. And let me tell you, I use this app a lot when I'm reading it, and it has just made my language learning so much easier. I'll be using it for all of my languages definitely, and it is an STR. It's a tool, and it's basically a tool, not a language learning main language learning thing. It's a tool, and it's a very useful tool. So yeah, go ahead, use it. If you don't use it already, go ahead, use it. You will like it a lot. Alright, so now for our next step. Drops. So in simple words, this is another spaced repetition app. It presents the language by making you match different pictures to words. Those pictures are more like artworks. I think I should show you guys. So as I was saying, you have to match different words, etc. to pictures, and there are a variety of ways to do it.
Bonjour.
Such as matching audio to these pictures and using bubbles to match pictures, etc.
Bonjour.
And that's pretty much how it mainly works. I personally will use Memrise or Rosetta rather than this. I mean, I don't really like this. Real pictures and videos work better than these illustrations in my opinion. If you guys really love it, go ahead and use it, but I'm not a big fan of it. This goes to not a fan. Yeah. Next step is YouTube. I mean, if you guys don't use YouTube for your language learning, you guys are missing out on so many things. This can be a great side resource and also main learning resource. It depends on where your language level is. YouTube has made language learning so easy. You can find native speaker videos so easily now. I have made a dedicated YouTube channel for my languages. This is the French channel, as you can see. And I just watch videos in French only on it. I mean, take a look at my history. It's all French. Mostly I actually watch shorts, but I watch it in French language. Like this channel says I watch content in French. It shows me everything in French, pretty much everything. As you can see here, mostly I watch shorts. So things like that. Now there are some other videos too, the long videos that I also watch. And they are also in French. So there is that. And when I'm in bed, I'm waiting, I'm eating or something, I just go through these shorts. I have headphones attached and I just absorb the content, and it's a very good resource. So yeah, YouTube is an S tier app, and I will put it here. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put Anki here. So these are my language learning apps, as you can see. So if I want to make some final changes here, yeah. So there it is. These are all the apps that I have used a lot. Alright, so this was my review of language learning apps and tools I have used. Now, I have used more apps than what I mentioned here in this video. But the reason I didn't review everything is because I believe right now I haven't used them enough to give a review. I will make a similar review, a similar video again later in future when I use more apps. Alright, I hope you guys have found this video useful, and I will see you guys again. Until then, happy language learning.